everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, September 1st, 2024. Are you kidding me? Did Lucy seriously let out a major puke in Faith's BMW? That is so uncool. Man, I hope that Faith had the leather interior. Because it would be impossible to get vodka puke out of a cloth seat. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm sure that the Newmans have enough money to have that car professionally steam cleaned. We gotta get Lucy's spew out of every last fiber of that luxury vehicle. Yuck. You know, I think that's the real reason for the wreck. I mean, that's the real reason for the wreck. Faith was worried about the car. Because she said that Lucy puked, and then she reached into the back seat to get a towel so that, quote, Lucy could clean herself up. But, I mean, at that point in the story, you know that Faith was so frustrated with Lucy and disgusted with Lucy at that point, after having found her in the park, drunk again, asking to be rescued. So you know that Faith was probably reaching into the back seat like, here, you idiot. Here's a towel. Clean up the mess you just made in my car. For real. Okay. I know. Faith was very forgiving. She was totally non-judgmental, totally non-blaming in the hospital. But she was mad in the park, and I feel like she was probably mad in the car too. And I really think that gives kind of an interesting distinction here, because everyone's gonna say that this is all Lucy's fault. And yes, Lucy got drunk and she was, barfing up her vodka and latte. But at the end of the day, at the end of the night, Faith crashed the car because she wasn't watching the road. I feel like Faith accepted the responsibility to drive Lucy home, and therefore Faith, is responsible for what happened on the road. Same as with Cassie and Daniel. Same as with Lily and Hillary. You're the driver. The car is your responsibility. And yes, accidents happened. I've crashed a car or three, but unless your passenger grabbed the wheel or did something deliberately to distract you, I'm sorry. Keeping control of the car is up to you. None of the families see it that way. See it my way. Faith is the victim, and victims can't be responsible. Nobody sees it the way I see it. I'm sure the viewers don't. Sharon certainly doesn't see it that way. All Sharon sees is that Lucy was drinking and that she almost lost another daughter because of it. And I have so much empathy for Sharon, flashing back and forth between seeing Faith in the hospital bed and then seeing Cassie in the hospital bed. And all the while she's got Cameron in her ear, in her face, encouraging her to just blame it all on Daniel and his little brat. Daniel. Because the moment that the doctor told Daniel that Lucy had been drinking, with Nick standing right beside him saying, anything you have to say to me, you can say to Nick. Wow. what a full circle moment, you know? And I mean, Sharon's getting a lot of attention. But I really feel like this is going to be Nick's opportunity to empathize. And it is. You can already see it starting to rise. This is Nick's opportunity to change his reaction this time. To not go ballistic on Daniel. To not chase him across the country. And to not end up sleeping with Phyllis at the end of it all. And I don't know. Maybe that's what Sharon and Cameron are secretly hoping for or waiting for. Maybe that's what Sharon is waiting for. To find out that Nick is going to handle this situation better or worse than he handled the Cassie Daniel situation all those years ago. I think that's what's in Sharon's hopes right now. That, I mean, subconsciously, like Nick screwed it up all those years ago. Will he handle it better this time? I think Sharon is hoping that this time Nick will choose her over Phyllis, who is about to be drawn into this battle. As we can see the pieces starting to line up. Phyllis is about to be drawn into this. And it ain't going to be pretty. Sharon has slowly but surely succumbed to Cameron's clutches. He said to her, you need me. I'm the one that's helping you point the rage where it needs to be instead of choosing forgiveness like a loser. And then he held her face in his hands, and she was looking at him like she was almost starting to trust him. Incredible, incredible. This whole Cameron thing, so bad, so good. Sharon. I thought it was done. I almost thought, we're not going to see him again. That's what I was kind of predicting last week, and then this week it came back, and it's like, it's getting deeper. Sharon is really starting to listen to him. Cameron is giving her advice all along the way about how she should be handling all of this, how she should be, pushing her family away and ignoring their concerns and, pushing the blame onto Heather and Daniel and Lucy. OMG, those death stares that Sharon was giving to Heather and Daniel in the hospital. Cameron represents Sharon's deepest, darkest place in her psyche. And Sharon is giving into it. Traci is moving back to Genoa City permanently with Alan taking a suite at the athletic club so that he can swing by the Abbott house and knock boots on the reg. Yes. Hey, Diane and Jack don't get to be the only couple doing the nasty under the Abbott roof. Mrs. Martinez! Oh, Mrs. Martinez! Can you set up another sex swing for us? We've got a new tenant. Hey, Diane got a really good deal on that first sex swing for her anniversary, so I'm sure she's gonna hook Traci right up. Oh, just kidding. Diane's got other things on her mind besides sex swings. Like, how am I going to get my son back? After I faked my death all those years ago and abandoned him, I just think he hasn't forgiven me. You think? I think I would probably hold on to that too. Hard to let that one go. But I'm also kind of wondering if Traci is going to end up being the one to pull all of these Abbotts back together. She mentioned to Alan that she really liked living in New York because in New York she had her own community of friends and colleagues and people who see her as just Traci. Not Traci Abbott, John Abbott's daughter, not, Traci Abbott, Jack and Ashley's sister. She was just Traci there. And yet, I thought it was interesting that she decided to forego that independence and, not only move back to Genoa City, but then also to move back into the family house where there's all this turmoil going on. So, I don't know, maybe it's going to be Traci's destiny to soften Kyle up and repair the family, because, that's what she does. She's Traci, and if anyone can do it, she can. There's a part of me that just does not believe that Kyle is ever going to actually move out, but I do, believe that he's going to start nudging Claire out because Victor asked him to, right? And Kyle needs Victor because Kyle needs Glissade, and because Kyle needs to prove himself to Mommy and Daddy. And if he can't do that, well, then what? Revenge is Kyle's whole identity right now. And without that, he's just a paper bag. Interesting bonding moment on Friday between Summer and Claire in our beautiful, beautiful Chancellor Park. When Claire announced to Summer that she was going to be changing her name to Newman, and then she busted out that family tree portrait, I thought, oh, Summer's gonna lose her lunch. Because these two have hated each other. Or no, I'm sorry, Summer has hated Claire. But Summer didn't lose her lunch. She didn't have hate for Claire. It actually turned out to be this watershed moment for the two of them. Like, just for out of nowhere, all of the animosity that's been between them just seemed to wash away, and they kind of became, in that moment, family. It was like we saw it happening before our very eyes. They became family right there. And in that preview for next week, it does look like Victor's taking Kyle's taking Victor's suggestion, Victor's suggestion in quotes, that he should encourage Claire to move on from being Harrison's nanny and, of course, take a job, at Newman, under the Newman Enterprises umbrella. But if Claire does do that, which I think she will, it is going to be heartbreaking for Harrison, and I really hope we don't see it. Like, I don't know, I kind of like Claire being Harrison's nanny, but I feel like it's pretty obvious that time is ending, and I really don't want to watch Harrison and Claire and that bond come apart. I don't want to watch Clarison be separated. But I'm sure it's all going to be like, no, buddy, you're still going to see Clara all the time because guess what? She's your new stepmommy. I mean, it totally opens up the door for Kyle and Claire to have a real relationship, a real adult relationship, now that she wouldn't be his employee anymore. Not that ever mattered in the past with soaps, but I think it matters now. So I wonder how Summer is going to feel about Claire once Claire is openly dating Kyle, or once Summer catches whiff of the fact that they're dating. Summer told Claire that she and Kyle are coming to a better place, and I think it was a couple of weeks ago Phyllis was suggesting that maybe Summer was so uptight about all of this because she still had feelings for Kyle. So I wonder if it's going to be Chance out and a Summer, Kyle, Claire triangle in. Yeah, because in the previews for next week, Billy is asking Chance if he's about to jump ship from Abbott Chancellor. And I mean, really, it makes sense. What's the point of Chance sticking around when everybody else is gone? Billy has fired Lily. Apparently he can just do that. I mean, Jill just handed over all of her power to her son, and she's not even checking in on him. And instead of Lily going directly to Jill about it in the previews, Lily has made the decision to ask for Victor's help instead. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like the brightest move. But aw, isn't it cute? Lily probably thinks she came up with that idea all on her own. I really have to stand back in complete awe of Adam's commitment to keep this sex secret. Because even after Billy busted into Adam's apartment drunk, saying that Chelsea finally had the decency to tell him the truth, even after that incident, Adam still stood there denying that the sex ever happened. Wow. I mean, that is the definition of sticking with your lie. He really stuck with his lie to the bitter end. And it really had to reach a fevered pitch before Adam would even consider telling the truth. I mean, Sally was, tell me. I mean, it really got intense before he finally confessed. But he did. And it was brutal, obviously, just like he knew it would be. I'm sure he knew this is the worst case scenario for Adam. And for Sally. I mean, because I think that Billy and Chelsea's relationship may survive this, but I feel like Sally is definitely done. She took that bronze metallic overnight bag and said goodbye. She had her keys in her hand. But before she actually walked out the door, she forced Adam to admit that he didn't just sleep with Chelsea out of, grief. It wasn't just grief sex. Adam admitted that there was some love mixed in there too. Oh. Now, this is an interesting development. Interesting develop on top of interesting development. I love this story. So, interesting development coming from the guy who was so steadfast in telling Chelsea that the sex was nothing. He said over and over again, the sex was nothing. It was meaningless. Let's just forget about it and move on. And then even more interesting, that while Chelsea was still telling Billy her confession literally at the same time. It was like two scenes going on at once. And Chelsea told Billy the exact opposite of what Adam was saying. Chelsea told Billy that she's not in love with Adam, that basically he was just a warm body in the room, could have been anyone. And I just thought it was a really interesting juxtaposition that, Chelsea wanted to confess the truth, but it was Adam who confessed the feelings. Adam was the last to admit the lie, but he was the first to admit that that he had feelings for Chelsea that played a part in it. My only complaint is that I wish I would have felt that. Either during the sex or in the weeks that followed, I wish I would have felt those feelings. I mean, I definitely felt the hand-holdy bond in the park that one time, but I still didn't get I love you from it. I didn't get I'm still in love with you from it. So I don't know. Is the love thing, is that a new development? Is that, was it going on the whole time and I just missed it and now we're just admitting it? Or is that really just the writer's way of making sure that there are no nails that are left unhammered in the coffin of Adam and Sally's relationship? Let's make sure Adam and Sally are dead by having Adam admit that he loves Chelsea. He has love for Chelsea. I don't know. Because I am not totally convinced that Chelsea is feeling in love with Adam. Who knows? Maybe she wanted to tell, I don't know. Maybe she wanted to tell the truth because it really was bothering her and she really wanted to save her relationship with Billy. Maybe Adam didn't want to tell the truth because he was in such deep denial about it that he wanted to run from it so as not to blow up his current life that he had to work for. I don't know. I feel like there's a possibility that maybe Adam does love Chelsea, but maybe Chelsea actually does prefer Billy, because when Chelsea was talking about it with Billy, she made very clear to him that not only did she not have feelings, for Adam, but she also didn't like who she was when she was with Adam. She likes who she is now, and she thinks that Billy has played an important role in that. And he has, but that moment when Billy was talking out loud with her, weighing whether or not he could still be with her, and he basically said, well, yeah, but if I broke up with you, what would happen to you? And Chelsea was like, oh, do you mean, would I jump off the roof again? And I don't know, I just feel like Chelsea's suicide attempt and Billy's desire to save her that is way more what their relationship was about, way more than it ever should have been. It's really funny because Chelsea mentioned that she and Billy were together before, a long time ago, and that she chose Adam over him because Billy was insecure about that. He was like, well, you chose Adam over me before, and that has got to have been so long ago, and it was a different Billy. So I mean, not only do I not remember Chelsea and Billy being together before, but I feel like I can't even fathom it. And, at the end of the day, too, I feel like Billy should not be basing his decision on, well, if I break up with her, will she try to kill herself again? Although I'm sure he would be thinking it. That makes sense. I just think, I wonder if Billy he could be just laying the groundwork, to make his case for the exit and just talking out loud. Because I don't know, I feel like Billy and Chelsea's relationship has been about everything except them. It was about her suicide attempt and will you be okay, Chelsea? And it's about Connor. Will Connor be okay? Quoth the raven, nevermore. Sure. But how, what about you, Billy? You got to make the decision that's right for you, Billy. And I thought it was really surprising that Billy decided to open up to Jack about what had happened. And of course, it got a really great reaction out of Jack. But also, of course, Jack kind of lightly encouraged Billy to stick it out. Jack's very loyal, so I'm not surprised that was his advice. But it was a little shocking that Billy chose to confide in the guy that he has felt a certain competition with recently. But then again, Jack is probably one of the only people in this town lately who, well, besides Chelsea, who is even remotely on Billy's side. So it was a positive thing that they talked. But then there's Sally, I can't wait to see Billy and Sally coming back together in the aftermath of the truth coming out, and they've talked many times, but now they're going to be able to commiserate in certainty. They know now. And I just kind of think Billy and Sally are probably going to end up being a couple of months from now, and I think that's going to be kind of a delicious turn of events. You are a master of finesse. I love that quote. I think that was a fun moment because it was Victor saying that to Nikki. You know, he was telling her to go ahead and try to pump Lily up, and he said, "Go ahead and do it. You're a master of finesse. I know you can do this." So great quote, and congratulations to Dolores, wonderful Wendy, Henry, Justin, Brittany, and Daisy. You guys did it. And I'm going to do it again. I like this quote. I don't know, made me happy. Who said this? You know I have a hard head. Who has a hard head? You know I have a hard head. Who said it? If you think you know, you should go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, then I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Oh, I want to start out with a birthday shout out to Sandra. Sandra, it's been so long. I think maybe you stopped watching Y&R, but even though you are gone, you are not forgotten. Happy birthday, Sandra, on September 3rd. Let's talk about Adam and Sally. Lara says, I really enjoyed the contrast between the conversations of Billy and Chelsea and Sally and Adam. These scenes were so well done. Chelsea and Billy were compassionate and open and gentle and loving in spite of the pain. Sally was fiery and passionate, as she has every right to be. Adam was rigid, emotionless, stonewalling, self-serving. Sally can do much better. Yeah, I liked that too. I liked that it was the Chelsea and Billy conversation interspliced with the Adam and Sally argument. That just made it very like whiplashy, just like, is it, you know, like what's gonna happen? And wow, these are two totally different reactions to the same scenario. And again, that's why I'm saying I think that it's very possible that Chelsea really wants to preserve that relationship with Billy, would prefer to be with Billy, but I wonder now if there's any part of Adam that just the seal got broken when Sally forced him to admit the feelings, and now I kind of wonder if he's conflicted, like he'd rather be with Chelsea. Because you're right, Adam is on lock. That is so Adam. He keeps those emotions on lock, and maybe, just maybe, this argument with Sally actually unlocked the truth within himself. He was maybe lying to himself through it all. Well, Calmness says Courtney Hope was amazing in her scenes, and I'm really rooting for Adam and Sally. Not immediate, but eventually. Wow, Kamna, I wasn't expecting to hear from anybody this week who's still rooting for Adam and Sally. I'd love to hear from some more people who are kind of hoping that they're going to make it through this. I'm hoping for a total bust up. I want Adam and Sally apart. I want Billy and Chelsea apart. I think Billy and Sally could be an interesting couple. It's a little predictable though. I don't know. Sue W. also says Courtney Hope, yowza. As talented as her co-stars are, this powerhouse actress nonetheless eclipsed them all this week with her gut-wrenching, blindsided, deeply wounded Sally. Wow, finally this character exploded out of the blah Adam coma she's been mired in for seemingly ever. Y&R, please give this actress a long overdue reset to showcase some confidence and fire moving forward. A new Sally-centric story, please. Let her loose to run the Genoa City world. Enough downer Adam stuff for her. It's gone on too long. Blech. Man, Sue W., I totally agree. I mean, it was like, Courtney Hope, yes. I mean, watching those scenes, it was like, whoa, she's really, really fired up. I mean, it felt so real. She was just like a raw little hamburger there, just like raw meat there on the screen. Oh a raw hamburger. Why, Allie? I don't know, Allie. Let's talk about, honestly, probably the comment of the week right here from Diana, who says, if viewers recall, after Sally cheated on Nick with Adam, it was basically brushed under the rug as a nothing. Sally used the excuse that she had to sleep with Adam one last time to see if there were any feelings left there. Okay. I think you can tell if there are feelings there just by making out with the person. You don't need to go all the way to find out. When you kiss the person, do you feel a spark? I mean, that was such baloney on Sally's part and a great excuse for her to have one last romp in the hay with Adam. It wasn't a good look on her, that's for sure, sleeping with both of the brothers in the same time period. Boom, Diana. Mic drop. Yeah. Let us not forget that Sally did also sleep with Adam while she was with Nick. And who knows, actually maybe that might cause her to be a little more forgiving with Adam. Maybe Kamna will get her wish and Sally will actually forgive Adam because she's been in his shoes. Did she lie about it for very long? She did lie about it. I think she didn't have a choice, though. When she got pregnant, she had to fess up. Well, let's flip over to talking about Billy here, because Daisy says, I think Billy is gonna spiral. Being alone at Chancellor's and knowing that Chelsea was with Adam may just wear him down. And when he's out of control and running the company to the ground, I hope someone will tell Jill. And in her infinite wisdom, then she'd sell an amount of her shares to Lily so that Lily can afford and then resell to Victor. This will ensure that Jill and her company will be well looked after and also expanded with new ideas. At that point, though, I think Billy would spiral out of control, but before he hurts himself or others, I think Jill would ensure, if not insist, that Billy go to rehab. And even though he would be angry at his mother, he knows she's right and complies, believing that maybe it will stick this time. And bonus, Patty might just be there to greet him. Ooh, I like that idea. That's fun. And also, I've been wondering, how is this going to happen? I mean, how is Victor going to get control of this company? The only way is if Jill sells her shares to Victor, but you're making a really great point here that maybe Jill will just sell the shares to Lily and then Lily will turn around and sell those shares to Victor. It's totally possible. Well, I think Lily would probably want to sell them more to Nikki. She's got all that finesse. And Kamna says, woe on Lily. I did not expect that. And I don't like it. I'm Team Billy all the way. Wouldn't it be a delicious twist if Adam actually helps Billy out of guilt and loyalty to Jack, and most of all to prove to Sally that he can be a good man? Ooh, so you think maybe Adam will find out about the little takeover plan, and maybe Adam will end up helping Billy to try to prove himself. That's a good idea. Well, Diana says, I would really love to see Billy get together with Sharon. Nick and Sharon have broken up and gotten back together numerous times already. I feel like their time together can wait. It's time for a fun, unexpected change. Sharon and Billy have slept together in the past, but I believe it was only a one-night stand. I feel like they would have a lot of chemistry and could be a dynamic couple on the show. We know Billy is good with women who have mental health issues, so that already makes him a good candidate for Sharon. That's just what Billy needs to have, saddled with another, mentally ill girlfriend. I just think, yes, I think Billy and Sharon, yeah, you know what, it would be really interesting and hot. I feel like it's just not where the trajectory is looking at, though. It just seems so inevitable that Nick and Sharon are going to get back together. And he's, it's all connected into Cassie and all that. But I think you're right that Sharon and Billy would make an interesting couple. They really weren't together for very long. I think you're right. It was just kind of a one-night stand. So, hey, I'm all for it in the future. I just don't see it happening in the short term. Feels like the writing's on the wall. Nick is to be the one who saves Sharon. And Jamie says, ew, seeing Sharon's BP mania induced apparition of Cameron tenderly touching her cheek gave me the creeps. I so totally hope we don't have to endure a romantic hallucination involving the two of them before this is over. No, I don't want to see that either. Yeah, it was very tender, but yeah, I hope it doesn't go romantic in Sharon's mind. Oh, we will know she is lost to the dark side if that happens. Robin says, I really like the Cameron and Sharon storyline. Sharon Case does a good justice, acting very odd. And I love the murderous look she gets in her eye. I'm assuming she will go psycho on Daniel soon. Ooh, yeah, she does look like really menacing. And Victoria says, yeah, Sharon looks unhinged. Those murderous looks are great. Whenever Sharon squints, I expect laser rays to come out of her eyes. I think another chatter predicted a road rage incident. It looks like Sharon is going to go after Daniel and Lucy. And instead of helping Sharon determine what is blocking her, Cameron is full on egging her on to be a murderer. Great soapy drama. Whoa, okay, I did not, my brain did not go there at all. You guys think that Sharon is gonna do some act of violence on Daniel and or Lucy and or Heather? Oh, you may be right. That would be so bad. But you know that it could be gotten away with so easily because we have established she's off her medication. She can definitely go and do something wild and crazy and ratings grabbing, and we'll just go, oh, oops, it was her medication. We'll get her back on now. It's fine. She'll be in recovery. She's not that person anymore. Oh, T. Nicole says, I find it interesting that when Ashley was dealing with her multiple personalities and the actual Ashley broke free, she felt comfortable reaching out to her family, Traci and Jack, saying that she needs help and these blackouts are happening to her. With Sharon, she still feels like the need to hide what she's dealing with to her family and lying about seeing Cameron. I just wish Sharon felt she could be honest with Nick about how she's feeling, and that makes me realize that Sharon doesn't have any other family, such as siblings or another adult relative to have as a support system. I can understand not wanting to scare your children, such as Faith and Mariah. Oh, yeah. I love that you just connected this to Ashley's recent mental health storyline. I hadn't thought about that at all, but yeah, we just saw Ashley dealing with this break from reality, and now we're seeing Sharon go through it too. And yeah, Ashley had that supportive family structure there, and Sharon doesn't have that. Well, why don't we take a look at our poll question from last week, which I thought was a really great one. Claire and Kyle, cute or puke? That might be one of my all-time favorite poll titles. It's just very on the nose. I guess it's not surprising that 63% of you voted puke. 63% of you are puking every time Kyle and Claire are on screen together. Only 38% of you find them cute. Michelle voted puke purely because of Kyle's romantic history and that he hurt sweet Lola. When he hurts Claire, I look forward to that triggering the insanity in her DNA. Oh yeah, Claire's just one trigger away from being crazy again, yeah. But Henry voted cute, saying, I just simply love Claire. She can do no wrong in my opinion. My hope is that should she and Kyle eventually become an item, that Kyle will not treat her badly. However, I'm also a cheerleader for Tara Locke to return, and if that should happen, Kyle's world would be turned upside down, and then where would that leave my beloved Claire? I voted cute too. They don't bother me. I find them cute. I don't think that Kyle intends to hurt anybody, but I think you're right that he probably will, Michelle. I just can see that happening. But wouldn't it be a more interesting twist if Claire ended up hurting him or breaking his heart, you know? Yeah, Marianne V says, I think they're cute at the moment, but that can become not cute pretty quick. Claire needs more substance. They can't always portray her as someone not in the know of the ways of the world. Kyle needs to guard against being smarmy. Yeah, Kyle does flip over into smarmy pretty easily. Sue W says they're cute enough. Why not? Kyle has been so intense that I enjoy his softening some around her. Sigh, I do think that Claire's character is in a lose-lose role to some viewers. Goody is grating to some, but not goody enough would have some bashing her as being up to her old ways. But up to her old ways would stir up mucho bashing as well, and any middle ground in the character generally leaves some viewers bored. So Claire, you do you. I like you a lot. Dang, Sue W, this is just the kind of completely rational comment that I have come to expect from you. You're so right. She's darned if she does and darned if she doesn't. If she's too goody-goody, some won't like her. If she's, you know, on the other end of it, then people will think, oh, she's up to something again. And if she's in the middle, everybody's bored. So there really is no winning. Oh, how about this topic? Sharon W says, Traci is finally moving back to Genoa City and bringing Alan along with her. And who could beat the accommodations? She can spend part of her nights at the Abbott mansion and her other nights at the swanky athletic club, complete with restaurant, lounge, and view from Alan's room. Most of all, Traci and Alan are a new, fresh, and completely enjoyable couple to follow. They are the funniest characters since Tucker. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I loved when she was like, I just want to go up to your room. I want to see your room. Yeah. And also, by the way, when we're talking about athletic club accommodations, it does seem like they are implying that the gym is back. I think Kyle was downstairs. He was in the gym working out, and then he came to by the bar with his gym bag, and Victor caught him. And then Lily was just trying to go get in a quick workout when Victor, like, for the second time in 2 weeks, forced her to sit down at the table with Nikki and said, oh, I gotta go take a phone call. Yeah, that's not suspicious. How does Lily not know that she's getting played? But anyway, back to Traci and Alan, because Dolores says this Alan, if he truly is Alan and not Martin, is starting to creep me out. More and more, I'm wondering if there wasn't a switcheroo in the fall. I hope not, for Traci's sake. If it's all a lie or a fake love fest for her, it may be possible that the devastation it will cause may have another Abbott sister in treatment alongside of Ashley. And Naomi says, yes, for Traci's sake, I want to see his credentials. I want to see diplomas on an office wall. Traci should ask to accompany him on his next speaking tour. I think Traci is slightly puzzled by some of Alan's comments and reactions. If he's a fraud, I want Traci to discover it through her instincts and common sense. I don't want her to get caught by surprise. I know it's a soap, but please spare Traci a heartbreak for creating drama. Writers, please break somebody else's heart. Well, I think we got to put this prediction we got to get our predictions out there. Let's put this question out into the atmosphere. Is Alan legit, you guys? Go to yrchat.com and cast your vote this week. Do you think Alan is for real, or do you think something is off? I must know how this is going to shake out. Because, yeah, it does seem like, oh, this is too good to be true. Too good to be true is great in reality, but, like, in soaps, you just know. You just know. Too good to be true is almost like it's a death nail for a relationship. Oh, goodness. Well, a little bit of sad news. Connie says, Dear Allie and Chatter friends, I'm going to be AWOL for a while to accommodate a major surgery. I will be reading and enjoying your comments about our show and watching live when I can. Be blessed, and I will be back as my health allows. Oh, Connie, man. Well, I really hope that your recovery is quick and comfortable. I hope you're able to stay comfortable and at least watch the show. You know, at least have something. It's kind of nice when you're not feeling well, you know, to have something to focus on that's like pure candy. So I hope that Y&R can be that for you, and we will be missing you and looking forward to you coming back. Oh, different topic. Let's end on this. Victoria says, well, it looks like the executives at Y&R treated their actors to a Catalina Island getaway. Nick, Phyllis, Jack, and Sharon are all sporting deep copper tone tans. Copper tone tans. Nick is the darkest I've ever seen him. Bronzer has been a staple for many Y&R stars, but this looks like a true sun glow. Phyllis's deep tan makes her teeth dazzle. It is definitely summer on Y&R. That is so great. Yes, and Lara says, I really wish the show would post all of the cosmetics products they're using. That makeup department is great. I especially love their use of cheek highlighter. I need tips. Yes, it is summer on Y&R. Everybody is looking great and bronze and highlighted. And I also was looking at Heather this week. I thought she was, I do love her. I actually really love Heather, and I enjoyed how she was able to really keep Daniel in line this week, just saying, hey, wait a minute, the worst didn't happen. We can't live in worst case scenarios. Let's live here. And we're going to deal with everything as it comes. So I thought Heather was great this week, and she looked great. I was looking at her because her tan is so perfect too. I don't think she had the copper tone tan. She just had that kind of like summery brownish glow. Y&R definitely needs to give us their makeup tips or something, because I need to know how we can get that glow, especially, you know, how we're in Wisconsin and definitely not in LA. Y&R doesn't really do a whole lot of bonus stuff. They're not like, oh, hey, here's the clothes. Oh, hey, here's the makeup. They definitely don't do they don't sell a whole lot of merch. It's just, I think they're there to sell advertising, and that's what they do, and staying afloat. And I'm sure it takes a whole team, a dedicated team of people just to keep the show going week after week, day after day, year after year for, what, 52 years now? Yeah, there's just not a lot of bonus content. I wish they would at least go back and release some old episodes or something, but I don't know. It's a lot of work, I'm sure. Hey, speaking of bonus episodes, you guys should go to GenoaCitySoap.com and get the Soap Kids Are Screwy podcast, because it's so ironic that when we're talking about Faith and how she had her own drunk driving incident just a few years back, and I included that on the Soap Kids Are Screwy podcast, along with some other really good Soap Kids Screwy moments. I mean, Connor locking Christian in the garage, Max causing Abby to fall down the stairs and miscarry, and yeah, it's a really good kind of fun episode. If you haven't gotten it already, it's at GenoaCitySoap.com. And yeah, Faith's wild ride. Faith wasn't always so forgiving and so perfect. You know, she definitely had her little brush with teen rebellion. Of course, she had some pretty good reason to have some rebellion, but yeah. Okay, all right, okay. That does it for me for the week. If you guys want to give me your comments for the week, again, just go to yrchat.com. That's a good place to leave it all. And yeah, come back next Sunday and we will chat about the show all over again. Okay, I love you guys. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.